And here we see Sutee making a run for it, getting out of dodge just as he needs to, losing as few ships as possible. That one Griffin down. Oh, and he cloaks and he's out of there. He has done an excellent job of raiding the expansion. And you can really see the effects that the experience system has on these ships. They're gaining experience and they're gaining defense, and they're just not taking near as much of a beating as before. And oh, this is going to hurt because these Griffins have snuck up behind them. And there goes the special disabling weapons and sensors. This group of Federation just needs to now. It needs to run. And the tides have turned once again. What a great back and forth between both of these players the entire game. And surprisingly enough, the Federation fleet has managed to get out with minimum losses. And the Warpin is about to come back up, and we should see him reinforcing his fleet with a few more Warpin vessels. And while we keep having these exchanges, Sutee is just not losing anything. Oh, and instead of reinforcing his fleet, he's going to warp in once more into Sutee's expansion, never giving this expansion much of any rest. We'll see how long it takes for Sutee to respond. He's been doing pretty good. He's been taking out these warp-in rushes, making him really pay for these expansion raids. And we'll see if he'll lose these 3 ships like the others have been lost. He really seems to be getting away from it by looking at the minimap. There's nothing really encroaching on it yet. And we'll see if... And there's the Romulan fleet, cloaking and moving in. I don't know what these Federation ships are planning on doing. Oh, they're going to take out this last freighter, and they think they've got a free kill here. Oh, but it's not free at all. And these are some dead Federation ships. And so, again, this Warpin has, while semi-effective in taking out the miners, has been costly in the terms of ships that it could have been saving. And I think that's going to end up being the major undoing of Mort here. He's just not saving up his fleet, taking too many losses from his Federation ships. However, he has brought up his fleet of sabers and remaining warpin vessels, and he has driven this Romulan fleet back. Though it's not really pressuring him too much. Even that one Griffin taking fire from good 6 or 7 vessels is just not going down very far. It's only now that it needs to repair, and then Sutee turns around the rest of his fleet, and it just concentrates fire on vessels and taking them down. We really shall see how Mort's in a bad position. He can't repair very effectively, so all Sutee has to do is take out a ship, repair, and then get back in the game. He can do that in a turnaround time of about 5 seconds. And now, the tide of the battle has been turned once again. Such good back and forth between these two players. But these ambassadors are not going to see the light of day, and they are going to bite the bucket. If nothing else, again, Mort sacrificing a ship so that the attackers will focus on it and leave the remaining fleet alone. I don't know how much more of this Mort can take. He's not really losing the war, but the battles are just slowly whittling away his forces at a faster rate than Sutee's. So Sutee is keeping most of his fleet after each of these engagements. And here we have veteran Reigns. Really, his fleet is just getting more and more powerful. And Mort back up in his expansion, trying to reestablish more of an economy. And there's the Akira research. So Mort is trying to move into a position to counter those Reigns and Griffins, and he's hoping to do that with his Akiras. But he's going to need more of an economy, and really he's going to be coming from a setback. He just doesn't have the economic position, and he doesn't have the fleet position. And these ships are now decloaking, taking out this expansion once again. over and over. This has really got to hurt. And I don't really see that Mort has the standing fleet to do anything about this. This is a much nastier fleet than was earlier at his door, and Mort just doesn't have the standing army to push it back. I don't even know if he has enough to stave it away from his starbase. But nonetheless, Mort is decommissioning stations, trying to salvage something, hopefully getting his miners back under the cover of his starbase. And this small fleet is really underpowered for what it's going against. Except there again is the Warpid suddenly pulling in support. But still, even in numbers, the Romulan ships just outnumber all these Feds, and they have such superior firepower over those Sabers, and it has Griffin's support. Such a nice combo. Taking out weapons and sensors, these Federations, the Federation, it's over for them. They have just been decimated here, and the last of Mort's fleet is slowly getting picked away. And that I would expect is the GG here anytime soon. Not even bothering to repair the remaining ships, not even making an effort for it. I believe Mort has just decided, oh yes, and the fleet ops GG, decommission everything, and then send your miners after the fleet. Ah yes, such a nice game by these two players. Beautiful game, back and forth by both teams, both players, and really the fight over the middle has been spectacular. Really good play by both of these excellent teams. Just that Sutee had managed to not sustain as many losses per battle, and I think that slowly gave him the advantage over the long run. And really this is winding up. We'll be seeing the end of Mort for this game, though hopefully not for long. It does provide such good play to watch, both of these players actually. And here we go, taking out the last of the valiant Sabers. These miners tried to bite the ankles of these Romulan ships. And so I'd like to thank everyone for watching, and I hope to see you on the flip side. And we'll say goodbye to these two amazing players. And that is the end, folks. Just for the last bit, see if Mort makes Sutee work for it. And no, there it is. Thanks all.